in Arkansas. We have a wood heater. But people don't think about it. You know, there's something wrong if it don't. You come in, you flip the lights, you don't think anything about it. We used to have to light a kerosene lamp. We call it coal oil, light the lamp. And we'd be hoping we have enough coal oil to last the night. And because coal oil was a nickel a gallon. So I'm only making those comments. Let's be grateful. I'm thankful to Allah that He has blessed us with this facility to be able to get this message across. And something that I want to close out with today is something that was given to me when I was a little youngster in high school. And I'm hoping that the same kind of effect somebody will pick up what I'm giving you the way I picked up from my high school English teacher. And I'll share that. So we're going to do a little English today after we finish the Arabic presentation. And the reason for doing that is because it's a very good presentation of Arabic that's on the internet now. And I've been watching him. I wouldn't pay the $900 that he's calling for, but and he called himself talking about the 8 parts of speech and didn't even know the names of the 8 parts of speech, let alone give you the proper usage of them. So we're going to cover the 8 parts of speech today because it is important that you know that as you try to transition from the Arabic language to the English. All right. So the better understanding you have of English, the better you can, or actually the better understand whatever language, whatever your base language. You get ready to go to another language. The better understanding you have of your base language, the better you'll be able to move into the other one. Because all any language is a picture of the workings of the people who speak the language. That's what it's really a moving picture of the workings of the people, their minds, the way their minds work. So here's what way the Arabic language was started. And regardless of what kind of conjecture you have, the main reason why the Arabic language has the effect that it has today is because of the way it's structured. And Allah didn't sit back and haphazardly pick up. He'd been guarding this from the very beginning. And one of the things they did, they had a pattern. They used a pattern. They would take 3 letters. They had to make up the letters first, by the way. First they made up the sounds. Now, you may make up the sound. That's right. And as a matter of fact, the way that we refer to the Arabic language, one of the ways that refers to the language verifies what I'm saying. We can say lisan Arabiya, and that's the Arabic tongue. But we say lugatul Arabiya, that's talking about the history. Lugwa comes from the word that means nonsense, babbling. That's how the language started off, babbling. And then finally, without going through a whole lot of detail, because we have talked about it before, finally they began to establish marks that they call alphabets to represent the different sounds that they babbled. All right? And of course, the Quran, you say, well, where do you get that from? The Quran says that in the hereafter there'll be no babbling. There'll be no babbling. All right? Okay. Okay, so now, the root word that this language is based on is right here. To save time, what I did today, because it takes time to write on the board, so I did some homework myself, and I just grabbed me a couple of little 50-cent placards, poster boards from Dollar Tree, 2 for $1, and made some examples for you. See, and I wrote in 2 different colors so that you would get the same thing. Hopefully, you would get the same perception that you would if you saw me write it. Hopefully, even better, because these 3 letters here are going to appear in every word. We have 14 words up here. This one is 1, and then we have 13 more words up here. 2 of them are exactly the same. We'll talk about them when we get there. This one and this one, they're exactly the same. So actually we have 12 different words up here. So 13 words in all, the original word and then 12 more words. And the way we change those words makes it say something else. Each word has information. For instance, this word here doesn't only mean he did or he performed, but it also means to do or to perform. And so in this word, not only do we know that something got done, but we know that it was a male, one male. This word tells us that just in the way it's structured, one word. I want to say if 2 of them did it, I had a long vowel to the end. So you notice I didn't change anything red, but make everything the same except this long add. So this is fa'ala. Then I want to say to of them did it. See, in Arabic, we don't have just single and plural. We have single, dual, and plural. So to say two, I had a long add to them. Instead of saying fa'ala, now I said fa'ala. And that's what we do to all of the root words in order for them to change from one person. This is always going to be he. If you just see fa'ala, it's going to be he. I want to make it two he's, which would be they, right? Then fa'ala. I want to make it three or more. Then I had the ooh. So you see, we still got the fa, and we have the lamb, but we changed the to ooh. So fa'alu. Now that's they plural. They did it. Fa'alu. And then I want to say she did it. I have the same fa'ala, but I add a sukun ta to it. It's a fa'alat. So I know you can see the difference. I hope the camera's showing up here, but I know those of you here can see the difference between the red and the black. The red is what's added on to this original word. And I want you to see it so you see the original word goes all the way through. This is called conjugation. Taking the word through its different forms with all of the pronouns. So you see it. So we have he did, two they did, three or more they did, and then she did. Now I want to say two females did it. I said fa'alatah. See still fa'alat? And then we put the vowel on it, tag, we go tag, fa'alatah. That's two females. I want to say three or more females did it. I said fa'alna. Now I want to simplify the learning process for you on this. So we've done how we started off here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we got to the sixth word, we did something we had not done before, and that is we put a sukun on the lamb. And that sukun is going to remain on the lamb for the rest of the conjugation. So you got to try to learn this. So this simplifies. So out of the 14 words up here, 2 of them are exactly the same. But now after 5, you don't have to remember anymore about what you know that all of them are going to be from here. Fa'al, and then you just add to it. Okay. So the sukun is going to be on every lamb hereafter. All right. So hopefully that'll simplify the process some for you. Anything we can do to simplify it makes it better. Okay. So fa'alna, no vowel on fa'alna, and that's they plural female. Now I want to say you did it, and I'm talking to a male. I said fa'alta. You still fa'alta. So you put a here first we use the ta, but we didn't put any vowel on it. Then we put a long vowel fa'alta, and now we're just using the short vowel fa'alta. And that's you masculine. I'm talking so you'll know. He was talking to a brother when he said that. Even though you're reading it, but you know who he was talking to. And this is how you make sense out of the Quran, because you're able to see where these words have come from, because you're familiar with the conjugation process. So now that's one. By the way, in English, we don't have any different word for one you, two you, or more yous. We don't have any different words for female you or masculine you, right? In Arabic, we have a different word, so we know. So not only do I know that this you is a male, but I know it's one, all right? Just by the way, and then if it's two, then it'll be fa'il to mad. That's two, what? Male. You're reading it, but you say, oh, he was talking to 2 brothers there, all right? And then we want to talk to 3 or more brothers, fa'il tum. See all what we did? This is fa'il to mad, that's 2, and then fa'il tum. This is the same tum, we just didn't put the long a after it, okay? So fa'il to mad and fa'il tum. Now we want to say one female. I'm talking to one female, and you're reading it, so you don't know I'm talking to one female until you see how it ends. Fa'il ti, the male fa'il ta, female fa'il ti. I tried to use a system that would be easier to follow. We could take and put male and female side by side, but I wanted to go all the way through it by number, as opposed to, and then you can go back and reach and get it. And then I wrote up here in English so you can see. This is a male, and this is one male, and this is one female. Now, the 2 females, it's the same. In other words, I ain't too mad. So you won't know whether it's 2 males or 2 females in writing, because the same word is used for both the male and the female too. I ain't too mad. That's the only thing. Everything else up here is different. All right. Then we got one more situation. The first person, but that's good too. That's different from this. Okay, so now we're going to talk about 3 or more females that I'm talking to. I said, fa'il tunna. 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 That is 3 or more females. Then we want to talk about, I'm writing, and you reading, you say, I did. I said, I did. I said, I too. Fa'il too. So you see how the ta has been used so many times. First sukoon, then with the fatha, then with a kasra, and then with a dhamma. Each one of them indicating different things. Fatha, that means masculine. Fatha kasra, kasra means feminine, and dhamma means first person. I. We don't have masculine and feminine in the I either. There used to be a time when that was obvious to see, but now we do have some questions. But there used to be a time if I'm talking, you know whether I'm male or female. Now we don't know until you make your declaration. So we don't know what flavor, you make. Okay. Well, I'm just telling you the truth, So the language didn't make that kind of adjustment. It just said, well, if you see me talking, you should know what I am. Okay. And then plural. Fa'il na. Fa'il tu and then fa'il na. All right. Now, if you learn these red additions, they are going to be consistent wherever you go. Wherever you go, they're going to be consistent. This is just the form. You don't need to sit down and just learn this word to do. That's all. What you want to learn is what happens to it in the what we'll call the conjugation. Because we're going to give you a couple of other. Matter of fact, I got 3 more charts that I prepared just to show you that the same thing happens. So we're going to go over to the other charts which I have over here on the other side of both. This word, darasa, and I deliberately chose to use darasa because it has the unique character of not having any connections in the original word. Why? Because 2 of the letters, the first 2 letters, are what we call righteous letters, meaning that they will only accept the connection on the right. All right. So this letter will only accept the connection on the right, and this will only accept the connection on the right. This one will accept the connection on either side. Okay. But since this can't connect to it, then therefore every one of them is written separately. But ordinarily, the 3 letters are connected unless you run into one of those what we call righteous letters. There are 6 of them. I've shown you that in the past, and sometimes we may review it, but not today. So, darasa, and darasa means to study. But it doesn't mean just any study. It means to erase darkness. In other words, because that's what knowledge does. Knowledge is light and it erases darkness. So you may find this word, some form of this word, and you look at the translation, you don't see where it had study in there anywhere. Look and see if it had expunge or erase. Well, that's really what it means. That's what studying will do. It will expunge the darkness. It will enlighten the mind, right? So that aside, commonly means, and also from this we get other words like the word for where studying is taking place. In a school, it's in madrasa. That's coming from this word. The person who is the teacher, mudaris. All right. But today we're just going to go through the conjugation of using the pronoun suffixes. There's another conjugated form also. Don't want to confuse you, but it has very similar effect. But it is that's where you have the prefix, pronoun prefix. Here we have the pronoun suffix. Suffix meaning what? It's added to the end of the word. So the root word here is darasa, and then I want to say 2 of them did. So this is he did, he studied. Now I want to say the 2 of them, they studied. 2 males. I said darasa. You see the dara and sa are the same, but then we had the long at darasa. And I want to say 3 did it. I said darasu, darasu. The ooh and the aleph on the end here is not pronounced. I'm waiting to hear some scholarly explanation for it. I don't know why, and I'm not going to play like I do. I just know that it's a part of the pluralization process. Okay, I don't know why. And even this Arabic scholar that I was talking about, I was watching on the internet, he uses as a teaser. He ain't want to tell you till you pay that $997. So, and I don't know how much you would have on it there, because I might have considered enrolling in this class, but when I find that you have a mistake, and it's such an obvious mistake, I can't go along with you then. Because, first of all, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. And if I make a mistake and you know, I want you to tell me, because I certainly didn't know it was a mistake, all right? And I will correct it, not, well, we'll just go around, we won't do it anymore. No, I'll tell it out loud. That's the way I am, I'll tell it out loud. I made a mistake here. So I don't know what the attitude, but it's always used for third person, masculine, plural, behind the ooh, but it's not pronounced. Darasu. And then we say she studied, darasat. The two of them female studied, darasateh. Now, again, we went to the sixth one now, so what happened? We're going to sukoon the last letter all the way through. Darasna, that is they, plural, female study, three or more. Then I want to say you study, darasta, you study. Two you males, darastuma, all right? Plural, three or more, darastum. One female I'm talking to, say you studied, darasti. Two or more, I'm sorry, not two or more, just two females, and which is the same as the male, darastuma. And then three or more females, darastunna. So you see the difference between the masculine is tum and the feminine is tunna. Masculine tun, feminine tunna. Let's look at the masculine. Masculine over here is ooh, feminine is sukoon and na. Ooh, darasu, that's they. And the plural of feminine, darasna. Short, just with a short na, all right? So begin to compare the masculine and female and masculine and feminine. Then that way you'll be able to understand better, you know, when something's being said. If, for instance, you see tunna in the Arabic, in the Quran, you'll know that this is addressing something. At least you'll know it's feminine. You may not know what the rest of it is, but you know it's tunna. It may be talking, for instance, you'll find that connection. I'm just thinking one place now in Surah Ar-Rahman. Tunna. Fihinna, in them. Fihinna. So it's talking about maidens. Fihinna. All right. Fihinna khairatun, he said. Oh, so that's feminine. So hinna, tunna, same thing. Okay. All right. Now, where we stop? We had gotten to the rastunna, and then we want to say I did it. We said darasu. Sorry, darastu, and then darasna. All right. Now I have two more words that we can go through quickly, which just so that you can see the same form. And this is he helped. Nasara. He helped. Nasara, he helped. Nasara, they helped. Nasaru, they plural helped, three or more. Darasta, she helped. Darasta, darasata, I'm sorry, dad. This is na. Excuse me. I'm just going off. I'm not even looking at what I'm saying. Nasarata. Excuse me, I don't know how many mistakes I made. Let's start up here again so I make sure. Nasara, not Dasa. We had Dasara before. Nasara. This is not Nasara. Nasara would be another letter and it would mean something different. Okay, we're not going to talk about it today, but this is Nasara. Nasara, he helped. Nasara, they too helped. Nasaru, they three or more helped. Nasarata, she. There's a mistake there. That's a mistake. I got the. It should be a sukoon T. I need a red mark. I got one here. I can make that into I told you if I see a mistake, I would correct her on the spot. I missed it even though I did this exercise Wednesday night. But I didn't, and I call myself checking over. So the female singular should be what? A sukoon. All right? Sukoon. So we can do that pretty easily, I think. All right. Now we back in two. And by the way, if you see a mistake, even if I don't see it, and if I had passed over that, you say something. Don't let it just go and go everywhere. So that's all right. That's all right. That's she, and then that's all right. Is two females, and nasara, that is female, three or more. And then you female. Nah.
You got masculine there.
Huh?
You said you have masculine there. You just said female.
And I have the right thing, but I said the wrong thing. Thank you. This is masculine. This is masculine. I'm still looking back up trying to make sure this is right up here. This is masculine. One, you. Masculine.
You have sukoon saying she. Then you got down here, you're still fata. Is that still she? Plural? Is it? See what we're talking about up here? That's all right.
Which one are you talking about? Let's count them about.
She.
Right here?
No, right at the very top. Where you be that right there.
Right here?
You put a sukoon there.
Yeah.
And you say that's she.
Yeah.
So we get down here, the next one down, that's all right. That's around tad.
Yeah.
Is that the fata, casra? No, fata. Excuse me. The fata, is that still feminine or is it?
This is feminine. Yeah.
It should be feminine.
Yeah, feminine.
So the tad should be feminine.
Yeah, the tad is feminine. If it has the tad, the letter is not feminine just because it's a letter. It depends on how it's used. For instance, see a sukoon here, and with the long vowel, it's feminine. But when we get the short vowel, it's masculine. Okay, so you really just have to learn how to. I don't know why they did it the way they did it. I'm not telling you it's a divine explanation of it, but that's just what they have. So notice that here the tad. I had spoken of the tad, and maybe I didn't explain it well. The tad is used in both. This is third person, and then we have it used twice in third person. Both of them are feminine, and then here is second person. But it has a short vowel and then the tad is used throughout the rest. And once we get the tad in the first person, in the second person, then tad is a part of all of them until we get to we. The tad is the letter tad. Now we're not talking about the sound tad. Now we're talking about the letter tad. Okay, but it's what is done to that tad. So the feminine tad in third person is sukoon. The feminine tad of sukoon if it's singular. If it's masculine, if it's plural, meaning it's dual. If it's dual, two, then it's fat tad with the aleph going with it. Tad, not just tad. And then after we get here, then the tad is every one until we get to the end. Okay. Any other explanations we need to add to that? Okay, so we're doing the same. The reason why I wanted to leave that one, I told the brother we put this up here, I want to leave that one uncovered so you can see we did the same thing to every form over here. So if you look over here and you see we did something and we didn't do it on the same line over here, then something's wrong. Okay, even you don't have to know anything. Just if line 2. On the first board, on the right, and line 2 on the second board, on the second one, are not the same, and the same thing has been done to the word, something has been wrong. If line 5, well, this is 5 here, right? Line 5 on the second board doesn't match line with,
line 5 is
this one? Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Same thing, line 5 here. If line 5, the same thing not done here, that's done over here, then something is wrong. Okay? So we see we have the tad over here, we have the tad here. Okay? The same thing is supposed to be done to each one of them, and that's what you want to learn so that you can assimilate your knowledge and not have little isolated particles. Once you get this pattern, you can just sit down and just take any word that you know is a root word and just practice adding to it, adding suffixes to it. And pretty soon you'll have it. It doesn't even take all day to do it. And then we'll study more later on, because this is only one part. This is the first stage of of conjugation. That's me there. Yeah. Of conjugation. All right, now we have one more word to show you today, and then we're going to go to some English. All right. The fun. Okay. This is kataba. He wrote. Now we know that we know words already that come from the word kataba. All right. Kitab comes from the kataba. But we only use it in verb forms today. You remember when we first started talking to you about the forms, we did the word fa'ala, and then we showed you that there were 9 other forms of fa'ala, fa'ila, and fa'ala, and run on down to 10. We told you there are actually 15, but we only studied 10 because, according to the scholars, the last 5 are archaic. Seldom if ever used. Okay, so then we also told you that going down. Then next lesson, remember, we showed you going across, and at each word going across, we had past tense verb, and then we had present tense verb, and then we had command verb, and then we had internal noun, we had active noun and passive noun. All right. So it was 6 columns across and 10 columns down. And I passed out a chart, which I know you don't even have no idea where it is, but I told you know where yours is. Well, that's the chart we're talking about. Okay, it's 10 forms down and it's 6 forms across. So on that chart is 60 words from 59 additional words from the one word that you started off with, which was this one, fa'ala. So quickly going through this, kataba, he wrote, kataba, they too wrote, masculine, katabu, they 3 or more wrote. Katabat, she wrote 1. Katabata, they 2 wrote. Katabna, they 3 or more wrote, females. And then katabta, you masculine. All right. Katabtuma, you 2 masculine. Katabtum, you 3 or more masculine. Katabti, you female, 1. Katabtuma, which is the same as the masculine, you 2 female, and then katabtunna, you 3 or more wrote. And then katabtu, I wrote, and katabtuna, which is we wrote. All right. Now, that is the extent of this form of conjugation. We, as I told you, that's using the suffix pronoun. So now when I mention the word pronoun, many of you may have an erroneous definition of pronoun. I've heard people say a pronoun is a word that's used instead of a noun. And that's not true. The complete title for a pronoun is reference pronoun, meaning it's a word that's used to refer to the noun. If you don't know, this is the reason why a pronoun is not used instead of a noun, because if you don't know who the noun is, the pronoun just doesn't make any sense. I say he's standing in the door right now. Who am I talking about? If you don't look around and see, you wouldn't have any idea unless we had already been talking about that person. Okay? So a pronoun makes no sense. My high school English teacher, whom I think she's still alive, she came to Chicago the next year after I graduated from high school, and she started teaching in Chicago, and she's a renowned, retired professor from the Chicago public school system. Her name is Dr. Carrie Davis. And she taught me a little acronym. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, and I'm hoping that this, especially the system that I showed you on pronunciation, That's unique. We're not going to go back over today, but this, the classification and syllabification, classification of our syllables, the 4 types of syllables, that's unique. I'm hoping that someone will pick that part. What I just did there, that's not unique. Everybody, all Arabic teachers do that. They go through the conjugation, because that's nothing unique. But the pronunciation system that Allah blessed me with is unique, and I'm hoping that someone will pick up that system and do the same thing to that system that Allah blessed me to do with what Dr. Davis gave me. She wasn't Dr. Davis then, she was just Carrie Ellis. She got married again, Carrie Ellis. And she taught us the 8 parts of speech in one day, so that you remember them. And she said the 8 parts of speech is nap, vapsi. That's an acronym. Nap, vap, C. And I told you the reason why I'm doing it, because this guy who's charging $997, he wasn't even able to name the 8 parts of speech. So if he will look at this, because he told me that he can look at this and see nap, vapsi, then he will see where he made his mistake. All right. How many letters is that? 8, right?
Yeah.
All right, now, I'm going to show you what each one of the letters mean, and it's, all of you can already say that word already. Okay, let me hear you say nap, vapsi.
Nap, vapsi.
Not complicated, a three-syllable word, nap, vapsi. All right. The first N, or the N, stands for noun. There's something very important about this too now that Allah blessed me to see after I come into Islam. I've been teaching for years before I finally got this. Noun. A noun is, first of all, your 8 parts of speech is a system of classification. Listen, it's a system of classification where you classify words according to the way that they're used in the language. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Even though this is not directly related to, but it's similar to it. Now look at this word. What is that word? I thought it was recall.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It all depends on how you use it, doesn't it?
Right.
If you're talking about a noun, then it's record. If you're talking about the verb, it's record.
That's correct.
Now, I didn't make that up, right? That word, not only is it classified differently, but it's even pronounced differently with the same letters. Record, noun. Record, verb, all right? Okay, so a noun is a word that is used to identify a person, place, or thing. And then, of course, we have what they call proper nouns and so forth. Proper noun as a specific person or place, all right? Now, the A stands for adjective. I'm going to go and do this quickly because I want to make sure I get the extra part. Adjective. And an adjective is a word that describes, that's what I'm going to use right now, describes a noun or pronoun. And then the next one is pronoun. And a pronoun is a word that is used to refer to a noun. That noun may be a person, place, or thing. In Arabic, we don't have things. We do have things, but they have gender. In English, it refers to a thing. It has no gender, all right? The V is for verb. I want to hurry up and get this up here so we can, because there's a lot to talk about. Verb, and then the A here is adverb. That really tells you what it is by itself. It adds to the verb. All right. And then the P here is preposition. All right. And then the C is conjunction. And then the I is interjection. This is what he had never heard of. Thank you. I was looking back to see if I put the dot on the rest of my J's, but thank you, someone's helping me out there. I appreciate it. All right. Now, here's the significant thing about this in Allah. You know, now you can learn and have it right there and then get the definition. But what Allah blessed me to understand about this, that Dr. Davis never hinted at. But when I started studying Islam, and when I learned the phrase from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he said the slave would never be free until he learned the language of his master. And I understood what Allah blessed me to understand what he meant by that. He's not just talking about mouthing the words. He said, because the language is what tells you what kind of trail that person is leaving. You ever heard the sentence that what you all speak so loud I can't hear a word you're saying? Well, the language gives us all that kind of information. You be saying one thing, and you say, oh boy, he's speaking with a forked tongue. Because even though the words may sound good, but there's something about his composure or whatever that you know. So here, how many different economic levels are there in the society that we know, in the democratic society we know? Three major ones. Middle class, upper class, middle class, and lower class. All right. So here are your families here by economic status or identity. Nat family, you've heard this before, haven't you, David?
Years ago.
So you know what brought this to me? My daughter was talking to a sister at the Ibn Baha Center, and she met this sister's daughter. And so my daughter's much younger than this. I do have children that young lady's age, but this daughter is one of the younger ones. As a matter of fact, she's next to the youngest. So she said, well, my father taught at University of Islam, and she said he taught him. She don't never vaccine. She before she could think of it.
My sister came home from school so excited when you were teaching that.
Yeah.
When she was, I couldn't have been more than 7, 8 years old. I wanted to go. I envied her. I stayed jealous for years. I didn't go to the University of Islam.
Changed to Clara Muhammad School.
Yeah, my father kept me back, but she was so excited.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and we're going to go on with this. I have run into students on the street that didn't remember what my name was, Granville or Muhammad or nothing else. All they knew was Nabapsi. Nabapsi. That's what they knew. Because that's how powerful it is. So watch this. This is your upper class, this is your middle class, and this is your lower class. Let me give you the definitions first to show you. Everything that is in the language has to be named. So it evolves, right? This is the male, this is the female, and these are the children. The male is naming everything. The female is like female used to be. Ain't no sister in here now. The female sister used to be that if you went by, man, you see this happen sometime now, especially Hispanic brothers, they be riding along, they have some hot tar on the back of the truck, put on the back of the truck, do your driver, got something left, do it right quick for you. And there was a time if that man wasn't there, she said, no, no question, no, my husband ain't here. But now she said, well, how much? But she used to didn't make no dealings until he said so, right? So, matter of fact, my sister, my youngest sister, she's in New Jersey, and I talked to her recently because her birthday was in October. And I said, how you doing? Well, I'm doing better than a pronoun. She refused to be a pronoun. Okay, but the pronoun doesn't do business unless you already know the noun. And the adjective. You remember this one? My principal used to do that. What's wrong with your children? Don't you have any home training? Meaning, did your parents tell you how? We can tell what you know or what you've been trained by the way you act. So the pronoun is going, they're telling you what dad is like and what mom is like. That's what they do. They add to it. They tell you whether it's tall, big, large, small, black, white, whatever. That's what they do. They add to the subject of the noun or the pronoun. Adding to it like children do. Like you. They ain't going to tell you nothing about daddy that ain't true. They ain't going to tell you nothing about mama that ain't true. All right? And if it does, then you'll be just like that person. Something is wrong with you. I know your mama. She didn't teach you that like that. All right? So that's that family of father, mother, and child. The working family. This is So, if you got the authority to name something, you know you're the boss, right? So that's the upper class family, all right? The middle class family, what's the verb? That's the action, right? That's the work. Ain't no work taking place unless he does it. All right? And child here, just like the child over here, tell you how my daddy did it. He did it fast, slow. He did it easy. He tell you when he did it, and tell you how he did it, when he did it, or where he did it. That's what the adverbs do. Tell you how, when, or where the action took place. So they're just as responsible. They don't jump over here and try to tell you what the noun is like. There's a brother down in Georgia right now that dislikes me, and he doesn't even know why he dislikes me. But it's because I explained to him, because this next phrase that we're going to talk about here, preposition. This same brother that's on the internet now saying that prepositions describe nouns. Prepositions not going to get out of their family. As a matter of fact, preposition is more of the wife that we define than this one. Because not only does she not do anything without referring to her husband, tell you when and where the action, she does in a phrase and acts just like a child. Preposition to phrase acts just like an adverb. All right? It is a preposition plus its object, and in that object, like he ran in the house. In the house is a preposition to phrase telling you where he ran. A house is a noun, but it's not. But the end is not modifying the noun. It's going with the noun to tell you where the action took place. So but they mistakenly think that because there's a noun in a preposition, maybe a noun in a preposition of phrase, that now the preposition is modifying nouns. Modify means to add to it, to make it clearer. All right? Okay. So now, I definitely want to get to this. So the preposition of phrase, in the house, around, up and down the street, those are preposition phrases. But they act just like adverbs in telling you how, when, or where the verb did its action. And the conjunction. That's the family. That's the lower class family, right? Got the middle class, lower class family. No children over there. As a matter of fact, they ain't even married. They boyfriend and girlfriend. And what does the conjunction do? It makes connections, right?
That's right.
But how many times do you find a conjunction connecting other conjunctions? Or even connecting interjections. He's back over here into somebody else's family. He's John and Robert. He's over in this family. And so no wonder interjection. What's an interjection, by the way? Interjection is an expression of sudden or strong feeling, right? No wonder she excited. Where you been? Every time I turn around, you over in the Nap family, you over in the back family somewhere, helping them out, connecting them. You ain't never doing nothing at this house. So you see how the C family is the lower class? They don't have any good family relationships. So I wanted to get that. Any questions on that? I'm glad I was able to get it in. I got a few minutes for questions if anybody has any questions that they want to ask. But remember that the Nap family is the upper class. And by the way, I gave it to you in a humorous manner. But don't think I'm joking. That's the way the language works. That's the way it works. And if you want to really understand what is going on in the world of communications, examine the language. And we know that the language needs to be examined. We play like we don't until we get one of those piece of paper that said we got to go to court. Oh, give me a lawyer. What you getting a lawyer for? It's in English. You know what you're saying? I don't know what to say. I got to get somebody who can read good. All right? So, the better we know the language, the better we know the people who are speaking the language. And when they tell us we're nice, we say, no, thank you. I'd rather not be nice. Right? You all remember that one, don't you? Any questions? Anyone have any questions about what we've talked about so far? Yes, sir.
I've always had difficulty with prepositions.
Preposition, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, prepositions are words that tell us, they do the same thing that adverbs do. They tell us how, when, or where. but they do it in a phrase. They have to have some more words, at least one more word with it. All right, such as a noun. But they do the same thing. In other words, in is telling you where something took place, right? From is telling you it's not here, or it's from. So they are in, from. Those are prepositions. On, that's a preposition. So they're doing the same thing as adverbs, but they have to have a noun to make a phrase, to perform a phrase. And so that's why I said that they are more like children than the children are, because the children just straight up tell you, but Daddy did it fast. For the prepositions said it have to be in a phrase, not just one word. Okay, Dad worked hard. To make that a preposition, I can say Dad worked hard. In a preposition, the phrase said Dad worked in a hard fashion. Now you see what, in a hard fashion. So I had to put some more words with it, but it's still a preposition of phrase. Okay, yes, sir.
And, because they say do not end a sentence with a preposition.
Oh, yes, I heard that one. And you also heard what Winston Churchill said about that also, don't you? Oh, you did? Yeah, someone corrected Winston Churchill once. And he said, yes, that's the kind of nonsense up with which I will not put. Because it makes sense that I won't put up with that's the kind of nonsense which I will not put up with. So he changed around. That's the kind of nonsense up with which I will not put. No, ordinarily you don't end a preposition, because of why? First of all, most prepositions need a phrase, need some more words going with it. But there are occasions where it's all right, and that's all he was telling his critics. That's all I'd say is, you're right, but sometimes you may have to, we use a preposition to end the phrase. But and now, what were they talking to us about primarily? Joe Willie, where you at? That's the kind of thing. Don't have to say, where are you? That's good enough. That's what they were trying to correct. Don't use phrases such as where you at. Just where are you? Okay. So that's what they were, but as I said, Winston Churchill put some clarity on this. That's the kind of nonsense up with which I will not put. Are any other questions? But thank you for that question. And yes, sir, that's basically that's a true statement. But there are a few exceptions. Any other questions? Not Pepsi. That's me. All right, that's the Wa alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.